Cults. They are everywhere, hidden in every corner and every little crevice of the world, and they're very easy to fall into, just like how I did. Just kidding, but not really. But anyways, today we are taking a look at 9 warning signs you need to know about cults and how to protect yourself. Welcome back to What I Don't Know About Things Will Shock You. By Junpei. Fuck, I forgot my own intro. But yeah, let's take a look at how cults work and how you can spot them basically, because I am in one technically, kinda 50-50. I'll tell you later at the end of the video, I guess. Yeah. As the story goes along. So let's see.
You have to ask yourself, am I also susceptible to cult behavior and cult thinking? And the fact is that you are, and I am. So the best line of defense that we have is to understand how to spot a cult.
People are very nice and welcoming. That's what I've noticed. First impression. Also, they're available in English and Spanish. So just because you don't speak the language doesn't mean they don't come in your language. Just saying.
How do we actually identify one? What are the hallmarks of a cult so that I can see them plainly for what they are and choose not to participate? So in this video, I'm going to go over the 9 hallmarks of a cult, and I'm going to talk about a couple of examples from history, from cults that have happened previously or are currently happening now. And then ultimately, I'm going to talk about how we can protect ourselves from recruitment. How can we keep ourselves safe from joining one of these groups that offer some things that actually our human nature wants, but we have to be willing to resist them if we're going to keep ourselves safe and preserve the freedom of thought. By the way, my name's Chad. I'm dedicated to freedom of thought. So let's dive in. The first hallmark of a cult is a charismatic leader. Cults always follow a charismatic leader. This is somebody, they could be living or dead, but the teachings, their ideas.
Hold on, I thought he would read the whole title. Let me see. Okay, a charismatic leader that cannot be questioned and is going to save you.
Always follow a charismatic.
Wait, are captions on? I thought I had captions on. I'm sorry.
Leader. This is somebody, they could be living or dead, but the teachings, their ideas, they are above all other understanding. They are capital T truth. Typically, these people are considered a genius on one end of the scale, so it could be intellectual. On the other end of the scale, intellectual or business acumen or some sort of genius. On the other end of the scale, they consider themselves a prophet that speaks directly to God,
for legal purposes,
or even Jesus Christ reincarnated, or God themselves. Often they can't be questioned, and the fellowship.
It's always the Jesus Christ reincarnate. I am the new coming of Jesus, at least in the United States.
The
that I've heard
followers of the cult see it as their duty to protect the reputation of the leader and to protect them from any criticism. So one of the examples, and look, you could look at any cult that has.
Sorry for the abrupt pause. There's somebody like going in and out of the doors, which is hella annoying because you're making a lot of noise. It's 4 a.m. Go to sleep. I'm pretty sure it's my sister. Annoying.
Ever been discovered and find the leader. But the example that I'll use is this one here. This is Jim Jones. He started the People's Temple. Over a course of the time that the cult existed, he moved the membership many times to different locations, Northern California, and then ultimately ending up in Guyana, moving the followers.
You know, I think Jim Jones was that guy who has like the Heaven's Kool-Aid or something, like we're all gonna drink this together and die and get ascended. I'm not thinking of a Heaven's Gate because that was different. That was like with the spaceship and a comet and stuff. Even Family Guy made a joke about it, about the whole shoes and everything. But no, I think this was the Kool-Aid one.
All the way to Guyana because of the insight that he had around racism and fascism.
Where the fuck is Guyana? Let me see. I think it's in Africa. Oh, in South America. I am dumb. I mean, be real, I'm a VTuber. Who the fuck knows geography? Name one VTuber that knows geography, okay?
And the future of the country. A former member, Tim Carter, said the temple moved to Jonestown because in '74, what we saw in the United States was creeping fascism. The followers believed that Jim Jones had some sort of insight into where the country was going and they needed to flee. But ultimately, if you know the story, this is where over 900 people took their own lives under his direction.
900 people. I thought it would be like 30 or 40 at max, but 900 people. Oh my god.
Now, how do we protect ourselves from this? Ask a lot of questions. Don't just take leaders for their word. Don't just take leaders for what they say they can offer you, like salvation or alleviating certain pains or struggles.
Like, how
Make
the
sure
fuck are
you're
they gonna do that?
asking
Make sure
a
you
ton
ask.
of questions all of the time and paying close attention to not only the answers, but how people answer or don't answer. And if
In my case, right, it has been that they usually direct me to a website. I can just tell you right now the cult quotation marks in. Okay, it is. I cannot say it out loud because my grandma, she is like, grandma age, way up there in the age, but she's been in this cult her whole life, and I don't want to have a fight right now, and she's way too old to have a spiritual crisis. Okay, is it whispering? I mean, you can think like I'm whispering, or maybe it's loud to you since I'm speaking directly in the mic, but I am trying to whisper it. This place. I don't want to risk saying it out loud, okay? I mean, she has hearing issues, but I don't know who's going in and out of the building. I mean, the house, not building. We're not rich like that. But yeah. This is the place that I go to. Oh my god, is my mouse clicking too loud? I'm sorry. Basically, the issue, right, the story is, right, my grandma, she moved here from India like last year, and like she has been a member of this place, and honestly, like her whole family is like there, like both my uncles and apparently both my aunts as well, I believe. My dad is not. They had some, I don't know the story. He's a Roman Catholic. My mom is Hindu. My dad and my mom eloped together like 3 days after they met. Crazy story? I don't know. Dumb story? Yes. But yeah, basically, my aunt, my uncle, both my dad's brothers, I mean, and then their wives, I assume. My grandma's brother, his kids, which means my uncle cousin, he's like 1 year younger. He was born in 2001, but he's still my uncle. And my grandma is like the oldest child after like 21 kids. Was it 11 or 21? I don't know. And my uncle is like somewhere in the middle, I think, because I know one of my aunt is the youngest. Yeah, I think she's just like my dad, who's like, go with the flow kind of thing, more Catholic or something. But yeah, she's not a witness herself. But out of so many siblings, I just know 2 of them, right? Isn't that crazy? Why am I whispering still? I mean, Mike shows fine. But yeah, there's like so many people. I mean, I've met every one of her siblings. I just don't remember. I mean, I moved to this country when I was 14. That means all of them were still in India. And it's so long ago, right? Like 11 years ago now. What the hell? Oh, 10 years ago. I'm not that old. 10 years ago now. What the hell? I mean, also, I saw them like once every summer, and in India, summer vacation was usually the month of May. Just 1 month. You were lucky to get like maybe 5 weeks, but no. And then like later on, I had to like stay at home to do like summer homework. Like, what the fuck is this bullshit? And I know like over here you have like summer reading, but no, India, you got math homework, science homework, art, history, geography, biology, English, oh my god, Hindi, and then your other language was Sanskrit, or was it French, whatever you picked. In my school we had Hindi or Sanskrit after 9th standard. Both of them useless, but I took Sanskrit because my sister took it, and they said the teacher usually just passed you. Whereas Hindi, I suck at reading Hindi. Oh my god. And then you have to write research papers on that shit. Whereas like when you take Sanskrit exam, it's like giving a kid in kindergarten an English test. That's how easy it was. So obviously we cheated. Our teachers were cool with us cheating because if you cheat, the school is ranked higher if you pass. So they encouraged it. I was so happy. Oh my god, that was the easiest school ever. Okay, back to the story. Oh wait, yeah, I was saying about the cult and the cult leader. I don't think I've met him. I know some key speakers that go on the stage and speak, but honestly, I'm usually like, I listen to music like this. Like y'all have seen my playlist. I usually have one of those popped in my ear and I'm zoned out because I also have beef with them. So usually like it's kind of like interactive, right? They ask you questions and you're supposed to raise your hand and answer. I raise my hand like at the beginning they used to pick me when I used to go like all the time because I didn't have a job and I had a car, but now I don't have a job and no car either. But then in the middle I got a job, so I kind of like stopped going a bit, but my grandma still attended online. But yeah, now that I go with her sometimes, taking whoever's car, I raise my hand and they never pick me to answer. Like, bro, what is your beef with me, huh? And they're like, I'm sorry, we just had to give everybody a chance. I am here barely once every 3 months. Huh? Wow, the disrespect. The disrespect. Is it because I have long hair and I'm a guy? Fuck you. I cannot curse on YouTube, sorry. That's my beef though. I don't know. It just seems, no comments. Okay.
If you're shunned or shamed for asking these questions, get the hell out. So the second hallmark goes hand in hand with the charismatic leader, and that's
Ideological purity.
purity. Very simply put, ideological purity is where you can't question any of the tenets or principles or doctrine of the cult. And when you do, you're met with both shame and punishment.
Okay, so in the meetings, right, it's more respectable. I mean, people don't usually throw questions, they just answer them because they're showing respect to the person on the stage. And I get it, it's etiquette, but I guess this is like more in home or like outside that scenario. Because over there, they don't really like give you a chance to question things. I mean, I haven't seen it where I go, and honestly, I am surrounded by members, so I guess I should not be questioning things like that. But why is my water bottle making creepy noises?
So as you start asking really good questions, people get really uncomfortable, and then they put the blame and
oh yeah, I was seeing like ex-members on YouTube talk about it and how they got shunned and everything, like completely cut off from all friends and family, like they never existed, and they're usually thrown out of the house. They're like so young too, like 17, 18, and the lucky ones end up making a living on YouTube and shit. The unlucky ones, they are homeless and we never know what happens to them.
and shame back on you so that it's all your problem. It's not the problem with the leader or the doctrine or the followers. You are the problem. And so you feel shame for that. A classic example of this is Scientology.
The problem with
and
me,
Ron
that's
L.
what came
Hubbard.
to my head.
There's a principle in Scientology called a suppressive person. This is a title for somebody who questions the tenets and principles of the religion. So whether they're in Scientology or out of Scientology, if you're asking questions about why, really good logical questions about some of the interesting things that they teach or really weird or very damaging things that they teach, you get labeled a suppressive person, and that's to separate you or whoever it is from the fellowship. And ultimately they're taught to shun those people, to block them out. So if you're a member,
Same at JW as well, according to some YouTubers, but why would they lie?
and you start asking questions, you get labeled a suppressive person, and now you're on the outside. Nobody talks to you until you re-fellowship yourself and pledge your allegiance to the principles that are there.
Yeah, they said this too. Owen Williams is one of them, and then JW, ex-JW Panda are the two like I listened to. But they usually said like, my best friend, Owen Williams, said like his best friend of years and years, they like did shit together. Like Owen, his story, like he went through hell, right? And the church was there for him, but he decided to leave because they were like a cult. And his best friend now shuns him, acts like he doesn't exist. And it's like he can only exist if he decides to go back. Then everybody will act like everything never happened again, or everything never happened to begin with.
If you're not a member,
which is how some people go back as well, because of survival, because you're thrown out when you're super young, right? And then you're just being like, fuck this, I give up, because who the fuck wants to be homeless at 17, 18? What you gonna do, right? Kind of creepy people take you in, or you find no place at all. Both horror scenarios. So what else option do you have but to get home, get back to your parents and be like, you know what, yeah, I was wrong, I'm sorry.
You're a family member or somebody who cares about the person that's in the organization, and you get labeled a suppressive person, they will shun you, cut off those ties, because you're questioning what it is they're using to control you. How do you protect yourself from this? Is the same as the charismatic leader. Ask lots of questions. Point out inconsistencies and pay close attention to how people respond to them, how they interact with them. Does it seem like your questions are a threat?
Honestly, just form a cult against your cult, because I feel like, right, if you have those questions, I know somebody else has them too. Look at the ones who noticed you. If you're ever in, I mean, if you're in a cult, you're probably not listening to this, but look at the ones who notice you, right? And they also, like, give you that nod of approval, or give you that eager ear. You can, like, tell that if somebody's interested in what you're saying, team up with them. More heads are better than like one. Two heads are better than one, right?
And if your questions are a threat, ask yourself, why would asking this question about an inconsistency show up as a threat for these people? And know that ultimately, if it's a place that you can't ask good questions, it's not a place that wants the best for you and a place that wants you to think for yourself. So the third hallmark.
Also, if you are in too deep, right? Like if you're wanting to win on something, always have an exit strategy. Always, always, always watch out for yourself. Don't be too confident going in guns blazing. Always have a plan. Like if you do end up getting kicked out on the curb, do you have a friend outside the church that you can stay with? Do you have enough money saved up to help you, find a new place or something like that? Easier said than done in 2025.
Charismatic leader and ideological purity, and that is conformity and control. All cults have some sort of mechanism of control. They want to control where you work. They want to control how you spend your money, the food that you eat. They want to control very personal aspects of your life, like your sexual behavior. More on that in just a minute. And next level, conformity and control.
So, in JW, about the sexual behavior, I went to a meeting, right? They are kids over there, adults over there, and they just talk about sex like nothing, willy-nilly, right? Just like, oh my god, I was doing my laundry yesterday and we fucked on the balcony. Oh my god, I'm making scenarios up, okay? Leave me alone. I'm trying to think of scenarios. But yeah, they just bring it all out in the open, no matter who's hearing.
Is getting members of the cult to police each other and to tell on each other and to be in each other's.
Oh yeah, also about the job, right? I have met people from like all different type of jobs over there. Like one of them is in cybersecurity, one is like works at a hospital as a nurse or something. So I really can't attest to if they actually send people to do specific jobs. I don't know about that one, and JW specifically, but that's just what I've noticed where I go to
Business and know everything about each other so that we can control the actions. An example of this is the 90s cult Heaven's Gate, led by Marshall Applewhite. Members had to check in.
That's the Comet one where people, well, he was like, the Comet is a star, we humans don't belong in this human flesh suit, we are cosmic beings and the comet is our way out. Drink this poison and let's get one with the star, yeah.
In and check out at the house.
Did not make a joke about that. I'm sorry.
Jobs or some errand that they needed to run, go shopping, they had to sign a logbook when they left and how much money they left.
Ooh, I know this. My grandma recently downloaded an app that kind of tells you your task and everything. If you're like a deep member, and like they tell you like when you need to go out servicing and stuff. Servicing is like, knock knock knock. Do you want to hear about Lord and Savior Jesus Christ? All that. Yeah, basically that, but like also they help out at the church or what, a Kingdom Hall, or like, I don't know what they do honestly, because I haven't been to those. I'm not interested in that. Maybe knocking in the doors, that's low-key like I'm interested in. It looks kind of fun, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be like, oh my god, you want to join a cult? Oh my god, if I went to somebody's house that I know, right, I'm like, bitch, I joined a fucking cult. Are you excited? Oh, I am so excited. I would freak out because it would be so fucking fun. Maybe one day I will sign up. I guess when I have a car of my own. But no, they go Saturday 9 a.m. which is kind of impossible for me because I woke up at 6 p.m. today. I took like, I woke up at 2 p.m. and then I took like 3 naps till 6 p.m. I don't know what was wrong with me. Anyways.
With, and then how much money they came back with and when they got back. They also had a very specific diet. They tried a lot of different diets, but you had to be on the diet that everybody else was.
You know what's sketchy though? My grandma, she needed my help to get on the app that help with the task, right? I mean, I knew there was a cult before for a long time, right? Because I look into this, but the guy who gave her the login and everything, my grandma wrote it down on a notepad because she's not tech savvy and she needed my help, but he deleted the message right after he sent it, or after 24 hours. I don't know, he's deleted the message. That's all I know. Like, why would you do that? That's so fucking shady.
Partaking. So they controlled your money, they controlled your time, they controlled the food that you ate. Ultimately, when things really started unraveling, they controlled sexuality by actually having male members of the cult castrate themselves. We know that this cult also unfortunately ended in a mass suicide where everybody drank poison in the house and thought that because they were leaving their
Yo, why am I making jokes about it when he's being so serious? I should learn manners. I am so sorry.
physical bodies, they were able to get on a UFO behind the Hellbop comment. I'm going to talk more about that in another hallmark. But ultimately, they look to control every aspect of your life that they can so that you have a dependency on them. How to protect yourself from this is to keep some information private from any group that you're a member of. No group that has your best interest in mind needs to know every detail about your life. And they certainly don't need to control most or have a say in most aspects of your life. So if you want to find the best way to feed your body, what you eat, get that from one source. If you want to find the most healthy way to interact sexually, get that from another source. Diversify the sources of information in your life so that you know you can seek the best, because not one source is going to have the best of all of those. And keep that information siloed as well, because information is power, and power can easily turn into control. The fourth hallmark of a cult is mind-altering practices. So this can look like sleep deprivation, chanting, meditation, and on the extremes, drugs, required drug use.
Wait, I missed that. Let me back up a bit. I'm sorry. Mind-altering practices.
Mind-altering practices. So this can look like sleep deprivation, chanting, meditation, and on the extremes, drugs, required drug use. An example of this is the Manson family. Charles Manson, of course, was the leader of the cult, the Manson family, and one of the early practices that he implemented early in the belief system was the use of psychedelic and amphetamines. And this put people in an altered state so that he can play with their thoughts and plant seeds of belief into things that were not real. So one way to protect yourself from this is, if you want to continue to be a part of a group that uses these tactics like, mind-altering practices like chanting and meditation and sleep deprivation, or really drugs, try attending one of the functions and don't use it. Refuse to use it and see what the reaction is. If they tell you in order to be a member of this thing, you have to do this thing, you have to meditate, you have to do this chant, or you have to use this drug, get the hell out.
Honestly, that's to literally anybody. If anybody ever tells you to try any sort of mind-altering substance, then yeah, they're a red flag. Maybe even doctor. I shouldn't make jokes about doctors. I am not one, but I found the app, right, that they like, the shitty app I was talking about. Let me show you. Oh my god, hopefully I don't get sued or anything. This is just entertainment. So, NW Publisher app. New World Publisher is a free Apple iOS and Google Android created by JWs for JWs. Okay, congregations publishers can install NWP on their mobile devices and be more united and connected to their congregation. Christian life and ministry meeting assignments, public talk and weekend assignments, congregation information for a board, upcoming congregation events, request leisurely literature items, view territory assignments, midweek and weekend meeting schedules, congregation field service. See, this is the Saturday 9 a.m. shit, where you go door to door knocking. I think public witnessing reservations, submit field service reports, congregation duties. This is, I think, like helping clean up at the Kingdom Hall and everything. I know, like there are signs where they're like, we help each other clean up and everything, and they like talk about it too. submit away periods, field service history. So look, okay, this is the main page. It tells you the field service report, when you can sign up or something, I guess, information board and congregation events, the biggest events and everything. Next page. And I guess this is how you sign up. Check the box if you shared in any of the ministry during the month. I guess this is how you like show your report. Number of different Bible studies conducted. 1 hours if auxiliary, regular, or special point year information credit. Battle comment. Okay. Y'all get the idea. Okay. This is like their doer app. But anyways, back to the video.
Indicator to you that they're not interested in you contributing to the group or you being a part of something meaningful. It's an indicator that they need you to do the thing that they're using to exercise control over you. Number 5 is isolation. Cults work to isolate you from your social structures. They want you to work in places that they can control. They want you to socialize in places that they can control.
Again, I cannot comment on this about my specific thing because I don't have enough information. But what I do know is that in the movie broadcast and videos, they do promote snitching on each other. Like, oh my god, they're not performing as this. Can you help them be better? And in the movie, they make it all like nice and colorful and like just have a talk and shit. But on the stage, there was this one guy joking about abusing his kids. Like, oh my god, when my kids were little, they used to act up. I used to like, hit them. Sometimes they need that shit like that, which I really don't condone, honestly. Been an Indian vibe. In India, it's very common. That's why I'm like, oh.
They want you to depend on the group for everything socially that you need. And this includes separating you from your family and friends who are not a part of the cult.
Oh, yeah. They also talk about this in the video. Like there's movies about like ditching people from your school and focusing more on activities within the organization. And like there's movies about how you shouldn't like play sports because organization activities are important. Props to them though, JW, because according to like some history or something, they were the first one to, like, they were not racist. That's what we know, okay? Which kind of, if you're called a racist, that just kind of goes double bad. But yeah, they were the first people to allow black. They were very what I'm trying to say is, okay, yeah, this is how I can trace it. They allowed black people to join the organization when they were first forming, like in, I guess, 60s or in the early 1900s. I don't know when that was, but I know in the 60s they did allow black members to join.
One of the current cults that's happening right now is the Shekinah cult, led by a man by the name of Robert Shine. And he created a doctrine that said, in order to save your family, like you can actually save your family to get them to heaven, to save them from their sins, but you have to disconnect from them and work on yourself. Like get yourself in a place where you can get salvation, and in so doing, then you could go help your family do it.
See, this all comes back to cave divers, like I keep telling you. Like, you know how those cave divers memes go, right? They had a happy family, loving wife, kids on the way, not even here yet. Little kids on the way. But no, they had to go dive in a cave. This is their salvation journey. Maybe all those cave divers were just trying to like get recruited in the cult, who knows?
But the key to that was you needed to separate yourself from them for a time, an undetermined time, in order for you to...
See what I mean? Undetermined time. You don't know how long you're gonna be stuck in that fucking cave. It could be 5 minutes. It could be 5 days. I mean, at which point you're dead.
Properly work on yourself without their
I've been obsessed with those
and
videos.
then you could go help them. The problem is that the cult keeps people stuck in a state of not being saved, so that never comes the time where then they now go connect with their family to help them be saved. So this...
And the truth is, like, as humans, we will never know, right? No matter what religion you follow, they all have some sort of philosophy about being saved, but you truly will never know what you do is enough and if you're actually saved or not. Like, you can claim that, oh my god, I believe in Christ, that means I'm saved, but then you go, hitting your kids and shit like that, or then you go, I don't know, randomly hating on your neighbor or being a bitch in a video game or something. Is that really a good person thing? I don't think so. I mean, it's human though.
This is a unique
Although hitting your kids is definitely evil.
story around isolation that is very, very clever because the people love their families and they don't want to separate from them, and they believe they're doing the best for their family by separating from them. The way you protect yourself from this is keeping social circles in lots of different contexts. Have
Like co-workers, or like becoming friends with your partner's friends, and vice versa. Like, if you're a couple, why are you not friends with their friends? And or if you're married, I guess. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, if I date somebody, I would definitely try to like make an effort to become friendly with their friends. But if they come over, definitely my partner will host. I mean, I love my parents, but one day when I move out with a partner, my partner will host. He'll stay, enjoy with his friends while I bring out the snacks and everything. Just be a proper server and everything.
good relationships at
I guess what I would want in exchange, right? When my friends do come over, I would just be like, it's usually girls, so maybe just let us have girl talk by ourselves. I don't know. I don't know what I would want. I guess I need to experience it in order to know what I want.
work, good relationships in your hobbies, good relationship in your religion or your church and in your community and your neighborhood, and preserve those relationships in lots of contexts so that you can have a well-rounded experience and stay grounded in what's around you. Another hallmark of a really effective cult is the us versus them
Creating an us versus them mentality.
mentality. This is where cult members are often encouraged to believe that they're superior in some way to everybody else, whether that's in the information that they have, the understanding that they have, or some sort of salvation locked in, or some information. So an example of this is David Koresh, and he led a cult called the Branch Davidians.
Okay, I know I am burning in hell for saying this, but he is low-key handsome. I'm not gonna lie, but his eyes tell the truth. His eyes are soulless. His eyes are black. His aura is dark. That's how we know. Like, if you doubt what you see in a person's eye, just stay away from them. They could be the nicest person or they could be the worst person. It's just like, if you cannot read their eyes, maybe y'all just aren't compatible. Just stay away. Keep yourself safe.
Most people would
Houston, Texas. Oh my god. August. Oh my god. Ah, that's the day I got my nipples pierced back in 2022, and I removed them too because they never fucking healed. What the hell?
would recognize this as the
I feel
cult in
scammed.
Waco, Texas. He effectively used the us versus them principle to convince his followers that they were superior to everybody else because they were the only ones that understood some of the prophecies in the Bible and how they were going to come about. And therefore,
See, I have witnessed this, not in the meeting. I mean, I really don't pay attention in there, but in passing, when your family members who are inside the thing organization make comments about things here and there, then you do kind of pick up on it, right? That's why.
they
So yeah, I have it. JW, it definitely does happen, the us versus them thing. It's kind of like not stated like we are better than them. It just kind of like subliminally signaled in.
needed to stay isolated from the rest of the world so that the world's ideas would not infiltrate their
Sorry to pause again, but it kind of makes sense, right? They're trying to like save people, like, if they don't join us, they're doomed. It kind of is in the face, I guess. Damn, okay.
their pure understanding of those philosophy or those prophecies in the Bible. This ultimately led to them sticking with him to the very, very end as their compound was infiltrated, and they were loyal to him to death, basically, because he believed he had the only truth and it was an us versus them mentality. So how do we protect ourselves from this? Very similar to other things that I've talked about, diversity of thought. Understand that the truth, capital T truth, doesn't come from a single source. Look to as many different sources as you can possibly find, and then be honest with yourself.
You know what I believe about the world's or the universe's truth? I believe that we will never know the truth of the world, the universe, Earth, anything. Because I believe the universe itself is alive. I believe Earth itself is alive. And everything alive, you can never truly know or understand them. Like, do you even understand yourself, or like, somebody even very close to you? Not obviously not. Like, sometimes people act out of mood, sometimes you don't know why you say something, or you don't know why you did something. So how do you expect to understand something so billions of years older than us? That's why I believe there is no real truth in this world, because I guess the real truth in my definition would be that the world is alive and its own sentient living being.
of whether
Because think about it this way, we have microorganisms on our body, inside our body. Right now, as I said this, you probably like looked at yourself something, right? I don't know, you gave yourself a look or something, saw your skin or something, but in your day-to-day life, are you noticing them? Not really. No, you have too much going on to notice about something so minuscule that you don't even see. Maybe it's the same logic over there.
or not they're consistent, and find the consistencies that are in order to find some semblance of the truth. Secondly, don't buy the my team fallacy. My team fallacy plays on a evolutionary innate desire as a human being to
That's true. Even in competitive games, when our teammates actually acting like teammates, if you can't like be a teammate with 5 or 6 people in a comp game, or like in an online video game, not even just comp, why would you do that with strangers?
belong, to find your tribe and then belong to them. All we really want, most of our goals in life, most of the things we're working towards,
I'm sorry, but also what online games taught me is that you could be on my team this match, but the very next match we could be the enemy tanks fighting against each other. We could both be Emma Frost in a chokehold competition. And honestly, if you ever get a chokehold on me when I'm playing Emma Frost, I am gonna tunnel vision on you. I don't care about winning or losing the game. All I care about is putting you down as many times as I can, slam you to the ground, and then kick you in the wall. I'm gonna bully you. I'm gonna make sure you never play Emma again.
is to belong in a group. And cult leaders understand this. And so they create a team, they create a tribe. And then you have to buy everything in that tribe, all the doctrines, all the beliefs, all the practices, in order to belong and not be rejected. But ultimately, being rejected by a group could be one of the best things ever, especially if it's going to mean life or death later on. The second hallmark of a cult is sexual abuse. As unpleasant as it is to talk about and think about, almost every single one ends up with some sort of abuse in this realm. An example.
And all the fucking people in charge always hide it. Damn, like everybody knows what happened, but no, we're still gonna hide it like it never fucking happened.
Of this is
We're gonna act like it's all good, it's all God's will.
Keith Raniere and the Nexium cult. The details are tough to talk about, but ultimately, as the cult went on, as time went on, he required most of the women that were close to him to have sexual relationships with him. He was abusive and he was manipulative, and culminated to him actually branding those women with his initials. This is a devastating example of the sexual abuse that cult leaders exercise.
I'm sorry. Defunct 2021. 2021 was like 4 years ago now? Or was it? Yeah, September 7th, 2021 is when they got defunded. What the fuck? It's so recent.
To him actually branding those women.
Look at that. Kid Raniere, co-founder, leader. Nancy Salzman. I'm pretty sure Nancy is a woman's name. Oh, Alison Mack, recruiter, leader. Clara Bronfman, founder, leader. All of these names are women's names. Let me see if they're actually women. It actually is a fucking woman. See, you can't even trust men or women when it comes to cults or anything, honestly. Just because they're women doesn't mean they're nice. And this is the background music. I was gonna show it at the end, but let's get back to our video.
Women with his initials. This is a devastating example of the sexual abuse that cult leaders exercise when they can build enough trust and they get you into the core of the cult. How can you protect yourself from this one? This one is really, really tricky because usually this abuse doesn't start until well within your time at the cult. So its time has passed, trust has built, and then the leaders introduce some of this abuse. So this one's a lot harder to protect yourself from. And one is follow your gut. If something seems off, it might be, and you should get out of there. Also, don't believe the sunk cost fallacy. Sunk cost fallacy says, well, I've put so much money, energy, and time into this thing that if I were to walk away now, all of that cost, everything that I've paid up until now would be wasted. And that's just not the truth. When things like this happen, you have to be willing to walk away from everything that you've invested in order to save yourself from this abuse. All right, the 8th hallmark of a cult is apocalyptic thinking.
Apocalyptic thinking. I kind of see that. They're always like, end is near, God is gonna give judgment and everything. Judgment day is close with all these leaders and Trump and like, I forget, more politics.
And this is preparation for a supposed apocalypse or some cataclysmic event. One really strong example of this.
That's why they go door to door knocking, warning people about it, and they're like, come with us, we can save you.
Is the Heaven's Gate cult that happened in the 90s in San Diego. I mean, they moved around a lot, but ultimately ended up in San Diego. And the teachings were is that God was going to come get them on a UFO. And then all of a sudden this comet appeared that they thought they saw a UFO in the trailing of the comet. And so they needed to take their own lives in order to get on the UFO and be saved. Right here it says the Heaven's Gate cult believed that a flying saucer was traveling behind the Hale-Bopp comet. They chose to leave their physical bodies behind to find redemption in an extraterrestrial kingdom of heaven. The sect also left behind apocalyptic messages in their Rancho Santa Fe mansion and on their home page on the World Wide Web. This is what's crazy about this one. Get this. Heaven's Gate website is still live. You can go visit it today, and their message, whether Hale-Bopp has a companion or not, is irrelevant from the perspective. However, its arrival is a joyously very significant to us. And Heaven's Gate. So it's crazy. You can visit this. If you go to heavensgate.com right now, their website is still live, even though that most of them, there are still a few members that are out there. Most of them took their own lives to get on the UFO that was following the comet. So how do you protect yourself?
I'm sorry, just one more joke. I think Peter Griffin, one of the members, he just went in there for the free Nikes and then he tipped. because they serve grape Kool-Aid and or was it root beer? And he said I don't drink what I don't like.
From this. Well, lots of cult leaders actually set dates.
Lois was very pissed when I called her to come pick me up
For the apocalyptic event, and it never happens, and then they keep setting dates and keep setting dates. This could be a first and very clear clue that this is not somewhere that you want to be, and the apocalyptic thinking and the threat instills fear in you, and then the fear will get you to do things that you wouldn't normally do. So actually, fear is the second most effective tool in creating control. As much as you possibly can, resist the urge to buy into the fear, because naturally, innately, you want to buy into fear. Human nature is, because we don't want something bad in the future to happen to us, but we have to be willing to resist.
You know what? Real life testimony, fear, all of my fears have always come true. I don't want to get too dark or anything, but let's just say I had 2 real crushes on 2 guys and they both are not in my life anymore. They're straight, that's why. And then I hated birds until I had a dream, but I hated birds, especially dead bodies of birds. And oh my god, one of my fears was like being surrounded by them accidentally. I just feel like randomly I would get teleported in a world where I'm surrounded by dead bird body. But I kind of faced my fear too when I had to dissect a quail in 9th grade biology in the United States of America, Texas. And I had to be the one doing everything because I was still I don't even know if I was gay back then, honestly, 15 years old. But what happened was, right, I was in the group with 2 cheerleaders. They were really sweet people, though, don't judge them. They were actually so sweet and so nice, kind of introverted too. And then this one other girl. So I was in a group with 3 girls, right? And then I was the only guy. So, naturally, guys have to do that shit. And oh, skipping out was not an option because then you would have failed. And if I did fail, I would hear a lot from my parents. And my parents were like, "Ah, I dissected a cockroach. I was so scared, blah, blah, blah." You don't know me. Anyways, basically, I faced all my fears. That's why I try not to keep having fears because I know one day it's going to come true and I don't want to face anything new.
Resist the urge, the fear, in order to see the validity of the claims of the apocalyptic event. So the ninth and final hallmark of a cult is time and energy.
A lot of time is required. Oh my fucking god. I see my grandma like studying and taking notes on like she's gonna sit at dining tables right randomly in the middle of the afternoon and she's gonna like watch videos, write in her notebook and everything. And like I said, she also went like giving invitations for the biggest meeting, the important Easter meeting. She went and distributed like pamphlets door to door on Saturday morning at 9 a.m. I don't know if she does that right now, but because I'm usually sleeping at that time. But yeah, they do require time and energy.
Followers are expected to dedicate huge amounts of time, energy, focus, and money, if not all of it, to the cult.
Just say no and then they'll kick you out.
Its position is, if you do this, we will take care of you. We will take care of you now, and we will take care of you in the future, meaning
take care of you mafia style.
You'll go to heaven, or you'll get this reward, or you'll become popular, or you'll have this celebrity. There's lots of things that they can promise, but they want you to give most things, if not everything, to them so that they can take care of you. It's the promise of safety. Squeaky. One of the stark examples of this is Scientology has an organization within that religion, within that cult, that's called the Sea Org. And when you join the Sea Org, you dedicate your life to Scientology and you sign a billion-year contract.
Yeah, how is that legal? That's what I want to know.
That you will stay true to Scientology through all generations and through all of your lives and reincarnate or not.
JW, it's more of a baptism, and unlike Christian baptism that's done at like infancy, they do it like way late in their life, usually around teenager. So that like they can be a committed member, and then after after you get baptized, that's like an official commitment. Like after that, you're like oh, you'll get shunned and everything, and then people will like blame you and shit or something. I don't know. All I know is like baptism is like committing.
Not reincarnation, but
reinstatement
of your spiritual body. I mean, you are invested. Check it out. It says, in accordance with the Scientology beliefs, members are expected to return to the Sea Org when they are reborn. The Sea Org's motto is Reviminus, we come back. Members must therefore sign a symbolic billion-year commitment. Members who leave the Sea Org are issued a freeloader's bill, retroactively billing them for any auditing or training they've received.
Oh my god, let me tell you, I heard about Scientology and how they pay their members for doing like jobs and shit, like maybe less than $5 an hour if I'm not wrong, for like 40 hours worth of week. I think they had like somebody said something about a whatchamacallit, payment fee, stipend I think, or pocket money, let's just say that, of $120 for like 2 or 3 weeks. Maybe it was a month too. I could be exaggerating, but I could be accurate.
The demands of a cult are so great that it starts to impede on your ability to function as a human being financially, with your focus, with your energy, with your family. The investment that they ask for is beyond what any organization should be asking for that has your best interest in mind or that is healthy for you. How do you protect yourself from this? Well, be realistic about the demands. Can you be healthy and carry on a healthy life with the demands that this group is asking? Also, expect full transparency from any not-for-profit organization that you're giving money to. And finally, pay close attention to any pay-to-play dynamics or promises. Like Scientology, you have to buy books, you have to buy courses, and you basically have to pay them to level up towards heaven. So anybody promising you these kind of returns like salvation, beware. Don't ever participate in pay-to-play mechanisms. All right, my friends, those are the 9 hallmarks of a cult, how we can protect ourselves from them.
And this is how I made a 20-minute video into a 60-minute lecture, 50-minute lecture, but I'm still gonna keep talking. So 60 minutes.
What did I miss? How else can we make sure that we protect ourselves from any of these pernicious beliefs, these ideas that keep people trapped and take away their freedom
I
of
think I
thought?
should
I
just
would
let him
love to
finish,
hear
right? That
what
just
I
sounds nice, I
missed,
think.
what you heard, what stuck out to you, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Let's check out the comments. Okay, these can be friends too that act like this who aren't part of any cult. You have very good info. You have very good info. I will definitely keep on following you. Here in South Africa, we have a lot of cultist churches with the prophecy and the money. That's kind of nice. From ZA, I assume Zimbabwe. Just left a cult. Have you ever heard of FLDS? It's definitely on track for some sort of Jim Jones event. Let's see. FLDS. I can type it in. What am I doing? Okay. He looks like a cult leader. Look at it's always in the eyes. They always look either black or soulless. That's the best way to describe it. Like, just if you can't read somebody's eyes, that means they have no soul behind them. That's what I believe. Fundamentalist Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Oh my god, I know this. Wow. Interesting. I don't know what I was gonna look for in there, honestly. I'm sorry. A friend of mine who is 59. Oh my god, I read this comment before clicking on the video. So a friend of mine who is 59 and lives alone has recently begun to follow a woman who lives in Austin, Texas, calls herself Sarah and daughter of Jesus Christ and Mary Magdalene. I am very... Oh my god, I know about Sarah from Gnosticism, or what was it, the Book of Adam or something like that? Maybe it's a different name, I think. Maybe I'm wrong. I am very disturbed by my friend following herself to be duped this way. Is anyone else aware of this woman in Austin who calls herself Sarah, the daughter of Jesus Christ and Mary? I am concerned for my friend. I'm not familiar, but keep an eye on her if you can. Those situations can get real bad real fast, as you know. That is so true. Like how she said, my friend alone, like, lives alone. That means this commenter is nowhere close to Austin, Texas. So the only communication they really have is like through phone calls or anything like that, right? And suddenly the friend can decide to not call her anymore. Oh my god, that's so scary though. And then I guess good job. And what's the difference between a cult like this, like the ones you have talked about, and a high control religion like Islam, which follows a good chunk of your list? No comment I want to say out loud, just in case. We're still very mini on this big platform. Let's not risk things. Anyways, so basically about my experience in this right here, this organization so far. That was the speakers meeting, right? Okay, the speakers are charismatic, they are funny. I mean, one of them was funny. The others are kind of keep you on your toes, right? And they have some good speakers, good readers. The way they read stories, it sounds like engaging and like authentic storytelling and stuff like shit like that, right? And then this one time we had some special guests visiting in the organization building we attend, and they were like attending from like somewhere outside state or somewhere like else in Texas. And it was a couple. The man was the speaker because they are like, they're more patriarchal, and the women are like more subservient. So the man was the speaker. He was like charismatic. When I say charismatic, right, I mean he was making jokes on the stage. He was interacting with people. Every 3 minutes he had a joke in there somewhere, and honestly they were funny too. I chuckled on a few myself. Maybe I chuckled to everything, I don't know. But damn, I was like, it's just how people like, yo, I took out my headphone for that, okay? I took out my fuck you better. I took out my K-pop for that shit. That he was funny, okay? Later on, his wife was sitting in the front row. After everything is done, like we say bye and everything, we say hi bye to everybody, right? Because people actually are really nice over there. I won't lie. People have been really nice to me and like really friendly and really welcoming, which is exactly what they want. Don't fall for it. I am like aware. I know what I am getting into, and also I don't go every day or every week. They meet twice a week. I don't do that every week. Okay, it's once in a while when I'm bored. Um, shit. I should take my headset off so I know if I'm whispering or if I'm being loud. Okay, but yeah. I met his wife, right? Went to say hi, hello, because my grandma wanted to like go stay. She was like impressed by them. She's like, oh, that's his wife. You should go say hello. So we went there, and she goes up to me and she's like, she comes up. I go up to her. She spots me and she's like making conversation. She's like, well, I'm so glad you saw the truth. You know, like, I'm so glad you're seeing the path of the light and coming out of following the path of Christ or something. You should sign up for the Bible study. You will learn more and get better on your path and learn to be better. Obviously, you can spot me in a mile and a distance and say that I'm gay. And I think she was commenting on that and me trying to be like, trying to leave it behind. I think that's what she was commenting on. Okay. But also, okay, I was like, oh my god, yeah, let's just, you know, exchange phone numbers, invite me for a Bible study and everything. They never did. She never did. I don't know why. Maybe she thought like I was like too eager. Like, y'all, I can be fake, okay? Y'all, customer service Lixue, y'all have not seen him. Oh my god, he's like the nicest person you will ever meet, but he just a little bit, just a little touch of reality. That way you think like it's a real person behind there. I love customer service Lixue. He is so fun. I miss him. Hopefully someday we'll see him. But anyways, yeah, that's what happened. That's just like the one time I actually saw behind the wheel a little, behind the wheel. You know that things the bride wears to cover her face. I forgot. Behind the curtain. Let's just say that. That's it. That's like the one time I actually got a peek behind the curtain a little bit and I actually saw the true color and I was like, oh, okay, so you really are like that. Interesting. But yeah, I guess low-key I do want to infiltrate a Bible study and start some shit with, you know, peers my age because I think there's another boy that's gay over there. But I mean, you can tell, right, by the looks of it. He used to not go on the stage and talk and he used to just sit over there, but now he started being more active in the thing. So I think he is there with family and familiarity. And you know, just because you are gay doesn't mean you're gonna burn in hell or anything like that. Okay, just want to make that clear. And hopefully, he is not stuck in there. He doesn't go his whole life, you know, hating himself, and then, you know, actually marrying a woman one day, and then later coming to life, coming to terms, and then breaking his whole family, hurting the woman, hurting himself, hurting their kids if they have any. Oh my god, that would be such a mess. Maybe I will cover it in a few years. Who knows? Okay, I should not make jokes like that. That is so mean. Oh my god. I mean, I am a mean person, so I guess who cares? Also, who the fuck is listening all the way 57 minutes in? But yeah, don't join a cult. Know how to spot it. If people are too nice, it's probably a cult. If it feels like a cult, it's a cult. Listen to your gut feeling. It's okay if that one hot person goes there and you did not make friends with them. I mean, you could be the one saving them from a cult. Don't think that, okay? Just don't get indoctrinated. If you feel at any moment that this place, I don't belong here, dip out. Whether it's a job, whether it's a cult, whether it's, I don't know, somebody's home, dip out. Honestly, if you feel like you don't belong there, why stay there? And if you have imposter syndrome, right? Honestly, if I don't know, it's not a message for you per se, but I know imposter syndrome sucks. It's like you feel like you're an imposter hiding yourself from the world, and like if people knew the real you, they would hate you, so you feel like you're lying to everybody you know and love. But I guess maybe you just need to open up to somebody, that one person, 5 people you trust, not one person. Never put your feet in a single person, okay? I don't know. Maybe I'm being too cultish right now and saying that, like, or too anti-cultish and like ruining everything. Like I'm pendulum swinging on the other side. Find a happy balance, okay? Bye bye. Good night. Pieces. And oh my god, 59 minutes. Wow.